That belongs in a museum.
He feels like he keeps his options more flexible, and the big thing is that Thanos gets to draw a card because his hand is still looking a little awkward. Would rather still have other stuff to do.
He has so much cycle and he has so much damage. I don't know to the viewers at home if it looks it, but this is actually to me a very strange version of Freeze Mage in what it's trying to accomplish. I don't know what you're looking for all that damage for. Like, Brian, is there anything you would think, oh, I need to have all this damage to win the game? Is it Reno Lock? Is it against Warrior?
Well, I think if you are not playing the Archmage Antonidas, you will need the ability to burn players through a lot of life gain. And I think that is the sort of rationale, I would imagine, goes into constructing this particular build of Freeze Mage.
Yeah, I think the big thing when you build a deck like this is that you actually focus a lot more on burst finishes because you're going to be heavily dependent on Emperor Thorson, which Dr. Hippie has never had access to conveniently. When you have things like Forgotten Torches and you reduce it to 2 mana, even with the Roaring Torch, the 6 mana version, you can burst for like 23 to 25 damage if you get the optimal Ice Lances as well. So,
Mind Control Tech value!
Oh.
We're doing it.
Take the Silence Doomsayer.
I mean, obviously, no matter what he gets, it's pretty unimpactful here.
Ooh.
And yeah, I think you might just
that
want to
is,
play
however,
Thorson.
fairly impactful is the Emperor Thorson. He could Thorson Innervate MC Tech if he really wanted to.
I like it for style points because you can't let this window pass to get value off the MC Tech.
Oh,
but
he's actually just going to go with Force Roar, though, it looks like. He just wants to correct this Ice block immediately.
And if it was Ice Barrier, he'd just win the game.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of upside to this play. He's saying, if you don't have it, I'll kill you, and if you do have it, I have Swipe to back it up.
But you don't get the Mind Control Tech value.
He's got a point, Dan. The man's speaking truth right now.
Yeah, I have no counterplay to that, so.
And I like this here, killing the Mad Scientist, right? Oh, actually... Ooh, Cereza. Oh, no. I was actually saying I liked the play, then I realized the disaster that was happening.
Brian, did you just like the wrong play?
No, that was actually... Oh, we see Cereza.
No.
I actually didn't think that through, just like Cereza did, which is that you don't want to give your opponent the second Ice block off to that Scientist afterward, but you don't really consider the fact that there's an Ice block or Ice Barrier left in the deck.
Cold as ice.
I can see how that happened, because literally I made the exact same mistake mentally that Cereza did right there.
Dr. Hippie just kept staring at Cereza the entire time, too. Just kept glancing up from his monitor and staring at him because he sees a physical reaction knowing what happened.
Right, and Cereza had a very obvious visual cue that he himself knew that this was an accident, not what he wanted to happen. Let's evaluate, though, that play. How far back do you think it sets him?
It's still in the situation where Cereza can swipe and pop the ice block, which is really key. But Dr. Hippie has plays afterwards. In fact, he can Alex Strasser right afterwards and keep himself alive. And if Cereza swipes, that consumes most of his turn here.
Well, there's a Druid of the Claw, though, which will give him the swipe remaining, which I think is actually... it's actually not clear which one you want.
Right. The thing about swipe is you get to develop this Pilot Shredder, too.
Yeah, and you clear off those 1/1s, which are actually not irrelevant here.
Right. Yeah, being able to generate armor is fairly important for the Druid. Even those small bits of armor can be really useful. Mind Control Tech's still on the table, but at this point, I think you're good to let that one go.
My brain is clearly just not woken up there, because there is still that Doomsayer right there. So developing initial minion, not really relevant.
So that's why the Alex Strasser is huge. Because Cereza's saying, if you don't have Alex, I'll just swipe you next turn. And Dr. Hippie has it. So this is a brand new game. And Cereza might have given this one opening for Dr. Hippie to paddle his way back in the series.
Oh, you did it.
I stared at Rob and made eye contact as I finished that sentence.
It definitely, you did assert dominance. I feel thoroughly dominated in my pun game. I have one more planned, but Dan, you were talking all weekend about how you're like, no, I got jokes this weekend. I got jokes.
We all have to level up.
I am just
one
glad to
step
be
at a time.
punning with the master.
All right, Force of Nature is something you want.
Definitely a pretty important card here for Cereza.
If he has this information, he'd probably swipe first and then silence his Azure Drake and then attack into the Alex Strasser, but he doesn't know it. And now he's gonna get punished again with this Frost Nova because he's seen the freezes and he's really hoping Dr. Hippie doesn't have the Frost Nova.
Is he just dead? I think that's enough damage. Forgotten Torch.
That's also a good question.
10.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, no, wow.
Oh my God.
Rob spotted lethal.
This game has completely turned upside down, and now all of a sudden we go to game number 5 with Dr. Hippie escaping the Freeze Mage vs. Druid matchup.
And that's got to be rough mentally for Cereza there. We saw his just very, very passionate reaction to, when he realized, he failed to break the ice block that turn, which, as I said, I can see how that can happen to you, because it happened to me right